So that's why I don't know any math. I went to university and had to take high school math classes in university because I did not understand. But I got very good grades because my teachers were grading my behavior and not what I understood. So it makes sense. And the last one, which is also important, and this is a common complaint about American schools, is grade inflation. So inflation is like bigger, like money inflates, grade inflation. So, like I said, an A is considered above average. But to many parents, an A is average. So, I will explain this more later, but students and parents expect to get A's, even if their work is average. They think, I did all the work, I try hard, why don't I have an A? So, we call it grade inflation. And this is kind of a little comic about it. So, A has become average, B below average, C, I have seen this, I have parents who do this, complain until you get a better grade. It works, because teachers are busy and tired, and we just want you to go away. And then, yeah, dean complains, file lawsuit.
What is a dean?
Dean in university is like head of students, so the person in charge of students. So this is meant to be funny, not real, just funny. But it is pointing out that we expect higher grades than students are working to earn. Okay? Or, yeah.
That means file
File lawsuit. Americans love to file lawsuits. We, yeah, I don't know how to say in Japanese. We use the law to make things happen more than people in other countries, I think. So it just means make a complaint. Use the government to make a complaint. And then this incomplete denial. Denial means it didn't happen, nothing happened. Ignore it. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's no I, it doesn't exist. I grade.
Yeah.
It exists for real, like A, B, C, D, F. Okay.
Yeah, incomplete.
Incomplete.
It's used in some situations that are very specific. Like if a student is very sick and cannot come to school for 3 months, instead of giving failing grades, because student can't help it, they're not in school, they did not want to get sick, so you give an incomplete and give them more time to finish the work. So incomplete means you can still change the grade, but used very rarely in American schools. Yeah, only very special cases. Okay? So, those were the problems with the old system. So this is the philosophy behind the new system. So, very smart people said, here are problems, how do we fix them? How do we want the new system to look? So, the first important thing about the new system is it has very specific goals. So, we call these learning targets. So, you have very specific goals for each class of what you want students to know and be able to do and understand, which helps communicate better with parents and with students. I will give an example in a minute of that. Next is that we should not grade behavior. We should grade what students know and understand and what they have learned. So we should not be letting students, like me, graduate from high school without any math. We should make sure we assess what they know. Okay? And the last one is that no one is good at something the first time they try it. The first time you get on a bicycle, you fall off. Everyone falls off. No one is born riding a bicycle. Same, no one is born knowing how to write an essay, or how to critically think about a book, or how to do algebraic functions. The first time you try, you should not be expected to get good grades because you are learning. That's the point of school, is learning. Okay? Those are the philosophies. So they used those philosophies to come up with the proficiency grading system. Proficiency, so proficiency just means ability. Ability. It's a big complicated word. I don't know why they didn't choose something different. But we call this the proficiency system. And it is used now in every school that I have worked in. And it is very new. Just in the past 4 or 5 years have we been using the proficiency system. So many schools are still changing. It's very slow, the changing. Okay? These are some of the elements of the proficiency grading system. So it's a little different from old system. The first is learning targets, which I told you about last slide. Very specific goals for what students can do or should be able to do. So, like I said, can do algebraic functions, can write an essay, can analyze literature, symbolism, that kind of thing. Didn't make any sense. But learning targets, very specific goals. Understands evolution, that kind of thing. Okay? Rubrics. So the whole system is based on rubrics. So a rubric, I will show you one in a minute, but a rubric just says what each grade is. So an A looks like this, a B looks like this, a C looks like this, so that students can read and understand, oh, to get an A, I have to do these things. Very specific. And we'll look at one in a minute. The next is, instead of A, B, C, E, D, we are using the proficiency scale, which is basically the same, except it uses numbers. And I'll show you that in a minute. And the last one, this is the no one is born good at something. Students should have multiple chances to try a thing, and they should get better as they try it. So the first time, if they get a bad grade, it's okay, because next time they will learn and practice and get better. And then next time, they will learn and practice and get better. So in the schools where I have worked, each student should have at least 3 chances to try each learning target for a course. Okay? So this is the proficiency scale. Like I said, very similar to A, B, C, D, except we use different words. So 1 is low, means working towards proficiency. And the language is very specific here because we don't want to tell students you are bad at this. We want to tell students you are still working to get better. So a 1 just means you're still learning. It's okay. A 2 means you understand mostly basic proficiency. Understand most of what you should. Can do most of what you should, but not quite there. 3 is proficient. So this is grade level. What we expect from students in their first year, second year, third year. You can do what you need to do. Okay? And 4 is highly proficient. So you can do what you need to do at grade level plus more. You understand very well, or you can do something at better than you should, or better than we would expect for a student in that grade level. So very bright students who work very hard want to be highly proficient, very, very good at things. Okay? So this is an example of a rubric I used this in a class. So the learning target, this is learning target, is, I'll write it up on the board, I can write an introduction, first paragraph of an essay. An introduction. So this is an introduction for an essay about a book, probably. So introduction is always the first paragraph of an essay. You want to be able to say, this is what I will be talking about, and get the reader interested in what you are writing about. So this is the rubric for that learning target. Working towards, it doesn't have the things that it needs to be a good introduction. You are still working. It has some of the things you need to be a good introduction. Almost there. It has everything you need. These are technical terms you don't need to know, it's okay. But everything you need to be a good introduction. Grade level. Student can write an introduction. And 4, highly proficient. It has everything you need. Plus, it is well developed, interesting, original, exciting. Makes me want to read your essay about Hamlet. I don't want to do because I have read 150 other essays about Hamlet today. So, this is highly proficient. Okay? Are there any questions about this? So, when I assign an essay, it will have multiple learning targets. So maybe I can write an introduction. I can write a body paragraph. I can write a conclusion. I can use good grammar, good punctuation. These are all learning targets. So when a student gets a paperback, instead of 1 grade, A, you get multiple grades. So, oh, I got a 4 on introduction. I can write a great introduction, but I got a 2 on body paragraphs. I should probably think more about body paragraphs for the next essay. Okay? So, is it time to take a break soon?
Do you think it's a good time to do, or you want
Yes, this is a good time to take a break.
So let's